Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Elise's Eats, and today I'm going to show you how to make my version of perfect mashed potatoes. I'm really excited because I love mashed potatoes and it's raining outside, and Flavia and I need some comfort food, so mashed potatoes it is. So these are the ingredients you're going to need to get started. Surprisingly, you're going to need some potatoes. So you're going to need 800 grams of potatoes, and you're going to need to peel these, cut them into equal sized chunks, and just when you get down to cutting it, the end pieces that are a bit rounded will need to be a bit bigger than the ones in the middle bit. To get about 800 grams of potatoes, I used about 4 medium-sized potatoes. A quarter cup of unsalted butter, you can use salted as well. 1/4 cup full fat milk. Some fresh chives that we're going to chop up later. Yum. And then salt and pepper to taste. Okay, so with your potatoes, you want to use a high starch potato. If you don't know, when you go to the shops, just ask someone. But this just helps give a much more mashed potato, much more creamy potato. And these kinds are kind of like a russet, a Yukon Gold, or a Golden Delight. You can also use Nadine potatoes as well. But if you use a waxy potato that's like a blue or pink skin, those are better for wedges because they hold their shape better and they're a bit harder to mash. But yeah, let's get started. I'm ready for potatoes. So what we're going to do first is put our potatoes into a large sauce pot, fill it with cold water. Now make sure this is cold because this is a little tip. If you put the potatoes straight into hot water, they can actually cook on the outside and then get raw on the inside. So uneven cooking equals bad mashed potatoes. Now it really doesn't matter how much water you put in, you just want to make sure they're completely covered. Now at this point, make sure you season your potatoes, so we're going to put in about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. With our cold water and cold potatoes, we're going to bring them up to a high heat and bring them to a boil. So when your potatoes come to a rolling boil like this, we're going to place our lid on and turn it down to a low heat and let it cook for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the size of your potatoes. You want to make sure your potatoes are fully cooked. Do not rust it. It's a kind of potato.
Don't rust it.
It's a kind of potato.
Don't you dare rust it.
Don't rust it.
Don't rust it now.
Don't rust it or they'll come out lumpy. Okay, so in a small saucepan, we're going to heat up our milk and butter. The reason we're going to do this is because you don't want to add cold butter or milk to your potatoes because it can lead to a gluey consistency or like strange textures. Okay, so what you want to do to test your potatoes is just to get a fork, bring up a large piece of potato against the side. Oh, I'm not even pushing on it, it's falling apart. And you just push it aside, and if it falls apart naturally, like that, kind of like butter, then they're ready. And you want to test the biggest piece of potato you can find to make sure it's all cooked through. Okay, so our potatoes have just finished cooking, our butter and milk are on the stove. What we're going to do is drain our potatoes completely, then put them back on the stove on a high heat for about a minute. This just gets rid of any This just gets rid of any excess moisture in the potatoes. So don't worry too much if there's still a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan, because we'll get rid of it in a bit. So we've just got all the excess liquid from our potatoes. We're going to mash them with a masher, or if you have a potato ricer, I think that's another thing you have in America. We don't have it here, well at least I don't have one. So we're just going to smash them all together until they're nice and fluffy. Then we're going to slowly add our liquid while whisking. Now I like to smash these for a good minute to a minute and a half, just to make sure I get rid of any lumps. Okay, so mine are nice and smooth now. Of course, if you like lumps, then just mash it less. And now we're going to whisk our potatoes before adding our liquid. The whisking also helps to make it a bit creamier and less lumpy as well. Now the amount of milk and butter you add depends on your personal preference of creaminess of your potatoes. I'm going to start by adding 1/3 of it and then whisking it in. Just give it a quick stir first. I'm going to add in another third and whisk again. Now, because I know Flavia loves really creamy mashed potatoes, I'm adding all of this, but just see if you like this consistency first, and then you might only want to add 2/3 of it. But we're going all the way, baby. Here. Okay, so now that we've added both of our mixtures together, we're going to add some salt and pepper. Now I used unsalted butter, so I'm going to add a little bit more salt just to give it a good flavour. This is just a personal preference, and I'm going to start off with about half a teaspoon of salt because I used unsalted butter. If you've used salted butter, just do a little pinch and then give it a taste. So I'm probably going to add a full teaspoon of salt to this. Just get rid of the end bit of the chive first. So then very finely chop up some garlic chives. You can also use regular chives, but the garlic chives gives a little bit more of a hit. Okay guys, so that's how you make my version of perfect creamy mashed potatoes. I hope you like it. They smell so good. I want to eat them now. So let's eat. So here are just some important points for perfect mashed potatoes. 1, use high starch potatoes. You don't want to use a waxy potato, so use like a russet potato, Yukon Gold, or a Golden Delight. So number 2, don't put your potatoes into boiling water. Make sure to bring them up to the boil in cold water. This just results in even cooking of the potatoes and doesn't have any lumps in it because you don't want lumpy potatoes. Unless you like lumpy potatoes, but I don't. Number 3, when you drain your potatoes, make sure to put them back on the stove on a high heat just to get rid of any I did it again! Just to get rid of any excess water because you don't want that in your final mashed potatoes. It can again result in a gluey consistency. Number 4, you want to warm up your butter and milk before adding it. Don't add cold ingredients to your hot potatoes. It can cause a strange consistency, kind of gluey. Number 5, use a whisk when adding in your liquid ingredients. This just helps keep the potatoes nice and fluffy and deliciously creamy, and then eat it. Oh, number 6, eat it. Okay, so this is Flavia's favourite way of having potatoes.
Yes, it is.
So I hope they live to your justice.
To my justice.
Wait, I hope they live up to justice. Is that a saying?
I don't know. I hope so. Let's just eat it.
Okay. How good did the chives add that little bit of The chives were good.
Yum! That's beautiful!
It's so creamy.
Yum.
You know it's good when it's just quiet.
You just think about how good it is.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. And if you want us to make any other food or recipes from anime, manga, TV shows, movies, games, let us know. Comment in the section below. Message us on social media. Talk to our faces. We're pretty friendly, so if you want to. But yeah, so see you next time.
Bye.